Hello everyone! Welcome to the third lecture of ARCHLine.XP preliminary course, the Bathroom Design Workshop, where we will be working on tiling. I will open the program and then I will choose the Bathroom Workshop Start profile from the preliminary course and work on the project created by Eva Ferenci. First, I save it under a different name using the Save Project As command. In ARCHLine.XP, we distinguish between two tiling methods. One is the tiling on the layout, the other is the quick tiling in 3D. I'll start with the wall tiling and we'll choose the layout method. A wall layout appears, which I place on the floor plan. The tiling command consists of three parts: the background area, the tiles, and the close options. First, I create a new background area. To do this, I use the polygon command. I draw around the area to be tiled. I tile up to a height of 1800 mm. I specify the material of the background area, which will be the grout color. Let it be white. Once I've finished drawing the area, I will place the tile on it. So I choose the Add Tiles command, then the floor area. I set the type. I choose granite tiles. The width should be 600 mm, height 300 mm. I specify the width of the grout, which will be 2 mm. I can rotate the tiles, but now the original orientation is correct. I have already set the material of the grout, which is the material of the background area. We have to place the tiles on the area. I start at the bottom left corner, then set the orientation of the tiles and it's done. The rest of the wall will be painted. For this, I create a new area, which can be easily selected by closed loop, point of profile and island command. I'll just click in the not tiled area of the wall, and the contour of the second background area will be created. I specify the color, which will be gray. We have reached the closed section. There are two ways to close the tiling command: by simply closing it or by closing it and removing the layout. If I choose Finish, the program closes the tiling command and keeps the layout in the floor plan. Now let's look at the quick tiling in 3D. In one step, I want to cover all walls from the floor to ceiling with the same tile. I'll switch to 3D window and remove the tiles I've just made of the wall. To do this, I right-click on the wall and select Delete All Tiling. I choose the right view to work on this wall. From the local menu of the wall, I choose Tiling, Tiling on Wall Side, All Walls. I select the tiles. It should be the House of Tones. The thickness of the grout is 2 mm. I select the row shift, which is 200 mm. The orientation of the tile is rotated to the left. The thickness of the background area is 2 mm and the material of the grout is bronze. We are finished. All walls from the floor to ceiling are covered with the same tiles. Now I'll design the floor. I click on it, then from the local menu I choose Tiling, Tiling Full Area. I choose the tile. It is the same tile as before, but in 600 by 600. I keep the grout properties and switch the tile orientation to original. I don't shift them. The thickness and the color of the grout remain the same. I place it on the slab. The floor tiling is complete. Now I'm going to create a tiling style which consists of several tiles. With this, I can also tile all walls of the room at once. I create the tiling style in the Interior Properties Tiling dialog box. Here, different rows of tiles can be placed on top of each other. Let's get started. We will need 5 rows. The first is House of Tones White, 600 by 600 mm. All other parameters remain unchanged. I'll set the material for grout, which will be white. I need to specify the height of the row, 600 mm, so one tile will fit perfectly. The first row is finished. I use the Insert New button to add another row. I select the pattern. This is the House of Stone tile. I don't change the other settings. The height of the row will be 330 mm. The next row will be a decorative border tile. The pattern is steel gold. All other settings can remain except the height, which is 23 mm. The next line's material will be the House of Tones White with pattern tile. I set its orientation to left, so I get a horizontal tile. Its height is 1650 mm. I create one more row, which will be the painting. With the Insert New command, the previous row is created again, so I turn off the display of the tiles at this one and rewrite the height to 1000 mm. Thus the tiling will be painted white. With this tiling pattern, we can tile a wall with a total height of 3600 mm. The placement from option can be settled in 3 different ways: left, right and center. I save the finished tiling pattern as a tiling style. It's worth saving it with all 3 placements. Click on the name below to bring up the Style Manager. I click on the New button and save it under the name of Tubatzin, and I choose the option that allows to use this style in all projects. I'm removing the previous tiling from this one wall. In the local menu of Wall, I choose Styling, select and place Tiling Style, All Walls. I select the style I just created. The tiling on all walls is updated with the new style. Now I'm going to make the flooring a bit more interesting. I'm going to lay the tiles with a 200 mm shifting. I'm going to right-click on the floor tiles, then click on Edit Tiles. I change the tile reference point to left center. I set the alignment to 200 mm. We put it down on the slab. I set the starting point, then hold down Shift to set the direction as I approach to 180 degrees. I close the command with the Finish button or Enter. Now I will tie the slab in front of the bathtub. I right-click on the slab, Tiling, Tiling Full Area. I select the bottom left reference point of the tile and I place it on the slab by choosing a suitable point on the existing tiling as the starting point. This way the grouts will be continuous. Now I'm going to do a mosaic tiling on the wall behind the shower. Let's switch view for that. I'm going to select the wall, then right-click and select Change Tiling Style. I'll delete the previous lines. I'll leave just one line. I'll modify the material here. For the tiling pattern, I choose the mosaic one. In this window, I can create the mosaic tiling with up to 4 different materials. The first should be blue glass. the second one integrally light grey. The third tile is House of Stone white with pattern. The last one should be House of Stone white simple. I can also specify the fill rate using the slider. I can choose from different types of tiles for mosaic tiling. This time I'm going to use hexagonal type. I also need to specify the size of the tile. I accept the mosaic settings. The total height of the tile will be 2600 mm. I save it as a tiling style under the name of Tubeitse Mosaic and choose to be available in all projects. I finished with the mosaic tiling on the shower wall. The program randomly assigned the mosaics, just like they are randomly mixed in real life. As long as we are in the command, we get a new layout every time we click. Whichever one you like, you close the command with Enter. If we still want to change the layout, we can select Interior, Tiling, and the tiling styles will appear on the left. Dragging the Tubeitse mosaic onto the wall and clicking on it will give us more random variations. Press Enter to close the command. Now I'll show you how I can rotate the tiles randomly in the tiling pattern. For this, I choose the wall behind the tub. In the Design Center, I search for Calicut marble and tile the wall with it. I right-click on the tile and select the Edit Tiles command. In the dialog, I click on the Random Rotation of Tiles options and accept the change. I place the tiles in 3D. We can see that the tiles have been randomly rotated. I restore the original tile. Next, I will place mirrors in the tiling layout above the wash basins and the dressing table. I will create these in 2D. I activate the 2D layout and select Interior Tiling in 2D and then Tiling on wall side. I select the wall behind the sinks and place the tiling layout on the floor plan. I create a new background area using the rectangle function for the mirror tile. This will automatically delete the tiles in this area. I will install a 2x4 tile mirror. The grout material will be white. I will then place the mirror using the Add Tiles button. I select the drawn area and specify the material of the mirror. I only place one piece, so I choose Given Row Column and set them to 1. Its size will be 1800 by 1320 mm. I place the mirror with its lower left point. The mirror behind the wash basins is finished. In the next step, I'll also place a mirror on the same wall above the dressing table. On the floor plan, I right-click on the existing layout and choose Continue Tiling from the local menu. I create a new background area. I specify the color of the grout, which is white as before. After that, I choose the material mirror and set the size to 1960 by 1320 mm. The number of columns and rows is 1. I'll place it on the layout. Let's see the result in 3D. At the end of the tiling, I will make a consignation of the total number of tiles used. To do this, the tiling must be precise. In the plan, the wall behind the parapet wall of the toilets is also tiled. In order to get a correct calculation of number of tiles, these will have to be deleted. In 3D view, right-click on the wall and select the tiling on the Layout command and place the layout on the floor plan. I close the command and keep the layout. I use the drawing tool to mark out the location of the tiles to be deleted. For simplicity, I'll just delete the whole tiles. To do this, I will use the tiling delete command. I select these tiles and the decorative border, then press Enter. We can easily create tiling contributions if we place the tiling layouts of the walls and the floor on the floor plan. With that, we can get the tiling contributions of the entire bathroom. The tiling layouts can be dimensioned. Now let's make a wall view. I choose the Documentation Wall View submenu. First, I set the properties. The wall view can be a vector drawing or an image. I choose the image. For the visual style, I'll use the Realistic with Edges option. I run the Single Wall View command. I click on the wall and then use the arrow to set the direction of the view. A blue rectangle appears, allowing me to set the area which will be on the wall view. I press Enter to accept it. The wall view is created and I'll place it on the floor plan. The wall view is a group. It can be dimensioned by entering in it. Now let's create an Excel list of the tiles. This can be found under Documentation Quantity Takeoff Excel List Tiling. I have selected the walls and the slabs. I'll enter the name of the spreadsheet. If the program is installed on your computer, the spreadsheet will open. The first worksheet shows a summary of tiles, picture, name, manufacturer, size. We also get the area they cover, the total number of pieces. We have more details, number of full tiles, pieces larger than 50%, and fragment tiles less than 50% of a complete tile. When buying the tiles, the area coverage is the reference value, which should be increased by 10% needed for cutting. Let's look at the final result of our design. I hope you found today's video tutorial beneficial. Practice this project until the next lesson. Thank you very much for your attention.